Welcome to the Smart Influencer podcast. I'm Christina,
And I'm Corinne.
and together we help digital entrepreneurs streamline their businesses, maximize revenue, and finally feel in control of their time.
Every week, we share tried and true strategies, proven systems, and expert interviews to help you grow your influence and income without the burnout. So if you're ready to get smarter about how you run your business, you're in the right place.
Now, before we dive in, if you love what you hear, be sure to hit subscribe so you never miss a single episode. And if you find today's conversation exceptionally helpful, please share it with a friend who could use it too.
So today we are talking with Maria Lucy from Maria Lucy Dietitian, and we are going to be talking all about YouTube. I'm very excited because, as we know, I am so reluctant to do video, and I keep waiting for the person that's going to win me over. And Maria, without putting too much pressure on you, I think it might be you. So
Hopefully.
before we dive in and you start sharing all of your wisdom, how about you take a second to tell our listeners just a little bit about yourself and what you do?
So I'm a registered dietitian by background, as you can probably tell from the name, and I started a YouTube channel at the end of 2023. And from that, I then also started a blog. And my business, you could say the hub of my business is the blog, or you could say the hub is YouTube. But I make content online, nutrition education content mainly, trying to encourage people to eat a healthier diet, but also helping them realize that it's a lot simpler than it's made out to be online. And I share a lot of healthy recipes as well. And then I also have some of my own products as a dietitian, so some like educational resources, and then I offer services as well to people who want to work with a dietitian.
Oh,
Love that.
fantastic. So you started YouTube in 2023, correct?
Yeah, at the end of 2023.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, awesome. So just about what, 2 years now of experience.
Mhm.
So why don't you tell us a bit about that, like how you got started and take us to like where you and how you got to where you are today.
So I took a bit of time before I started. So I took a few months to actually like make the decision about whether or not to start a YouTube channel because I think at that time and still now a lot of people put a lot of their energy into into short form content, into growing their Instagrams. And I wanted to do something different. I wanted to stand out, I suppose. And I just felt everybody was, all the food creators, all the dietitian, the health educators were doing Instagram. And I felt like I did a bit of a market gap analysis on YouTube, and I really felt like there was a space for the messages that I wanted to share that I was a little bit different. There's a lot of nutrition and health education on YouTube, but a lot of it isn't from people with credentials behind them, and a lot of it is very like extremist, and I wanted to kind of just be a voice of reason and giving just reliable practical advice. So I didn't know anything about blogging or anything at the time, but then I stumbled across another YouTuber who was talking about her blog, and I think I realized that they complemented each other very well because basically with YouTube, I'm always writing scripts, and those scripts could be repurposed into blog posts,
Mm.
and the other way around as well. The blog posts can be repurposed onto YouTube. So it took a bit of time to grow. But I now have almost 50,000 subscribers on YouTube. My blog is with an ad network. I'm working with brands and I have different revenue streams. And I actually quit my clinical job. So I was working in a hospital. So I finally quit that and now I'm able to do it full time, which is really, really, really nice.
So I'm going to pause you there for a second because one of the things that stood out when you're writing about like what you were going to talk about is like all the different reasons to do it because like I mentioned, I'm so reluctant to do video. Like I'm just terrified of it. Um, and like for me, like I need to see the ROI. And so is it, am I sending blog traffic? Is it affiliate income? And you had so many reasons why like posting to YouTube, much like us using like email, right? Like you can do so much with email. Like I feel like you're doing so much with YouTube. It's not just to build your brand name. It's not just to push traffic to your site. You're doing a lot of things with it. So can you spend just a couple minutes talking about all the different ways YouTube is serving your business?
Mhm. I think what makes YouTube stand out is when you grow an audience on YouTube, it's much more valuable, I would argue, because they're very engaged. They sit down and they watch you for at least 10, 15, 20 minutes. So they know who you are compared to if you just open your phone and go on Instagram or just Google and find a recipe. You might not know who that recipe creator was or who you were looking at on Instagram, but on YouTube, you really start to build a really engaged community. And I will be honest, it takes time. Like I put in a lot of work at the start where you're not getting that much reward for it.
Mhm.
But once you do start to build that momentum and you start to realize that you have a good, loyal audience who watch all of your videos and come back again and again, there's so much opportunity from that. So I suppose the first income stream that I added was getting monetized by YouTube itself. So that took me around 3 to 6 months. You need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours to get that. And when you do get that, it's not that much at the start. But like now I'm 2 years in and I have a big backlog of videos. So I do have a nice amount of recurring monthly revenue from it because I have a lot of videos that can stand the test of time. So they're relevant. The videos I made 2 years ago are still, some of them would still be getting views.
Mm.
So then I suppose another revenue stream I built from that was it helps with the blog. It helps bring traffic to the blog. The blog brings traffic to YouTube. But I also have a lot of direct traffic. So people search Maria Lucy dietitian on Google and would just want to learn more about you, read some of your articles, and your recipes. So that then getting in with an ad network was one of the next revenue streams that I built from that.
Mm.
Then of course you do have the affiliate links. Then you have digital products was something that I launched last year and you can grow a very large email list. So that was something that I did well from the start was that in all of my videos, at the end of every video, I would say that I have a free recipe ebook or to get a summary of what we talked about, click this link and I'd have an opt-in. So I grew really, really engaged or I grew a really large email list. Now the first year I didn't send one email because I was just trying to to get everything kind of set up and get going. But at least I grew that list and now I've been nurturing the email list and using it to my advantage. And it's fantastic. It's such a powerful thing to have. But I suppose now that I'm of a substantial size, working with brands is huge. Like I've always had a bit of an audience on Instagram, but it never attracted brand deals like YouTube did.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the funny thing is that I don't really post that much on Instagram or short form. It's one of my goals for this year. But in the last few months, I've grown by 10,000 followers on Instagram purely from people on YouTube coming over, crossing platforms to follow me, which they don't seem to do so well in the other direction. So I think it just shows how powerful that audience is when they feel like they really know you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think and I'm on, like, I have no idea, but like, do you think at all that is related to Google owning YouTube? That, like, so when people are searching stuff on the internet, it's serving up YouTube, and so it's just easier to find you there first before they go to their favorite platform?
I don't think so because I find even when I Google things, like if it was a recipe or even a query, I find that in the search results, Instagram videos tend to come up quite a bit. And
Interesting.
yeah, that's just what I see happening sometimes. So I don't really obviously they do own YouTube. But I don't think it's been hugely advantageous that way.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just that the YouTube people that use YouTube, like, use it as a search engine, that they're there looking for whatever they're looking for. And if they happen to be on another platform, they'll go look for you there too.
Yeah, yeah. Or
Mhm.
else they will go onto Google and type in Maria Lucy after they've watched it to find my website.
Mm.
It's interesting.
So I think you've probably been the first guest that we've had talk about YouTube, distinctly mentioned that you've been able to grow your email list significantly from YouTube. I would love to talk more about that because I think that that is an opportunity that many of us are missing out on.
Hmm. Yeah, it's the main way that I've grown my email list. I
That's
wouldn't have
awesome.
a large email list without it. Um, so I think you have to be strategic. Like every video that you make, you should really have a goal, like a call to action.
Hmm.
So every video I will have something at the start. I try to let people know about it at the start of the video. So let's just say I'm going through 10 points, I might say. A summary or your cheat sheet is down below, and I'll just put like a little snippet of it on the screen, and people will love that because it will be like a summary of the video.
Hmm.
And then at the end of the video, I will also say, and don't forget, you can get your cheat sheet just by clicking this link,
Mm.
or else it will just be something as simple as I have a free recipe ebook if I don't have a specific opt-in for that kind of a video.
I
Um,
love that. It's like you've taken all the core principles that I apply to blogging and
Yeah.
you've re-engineered them for YouTube. And I find it interesting that you started on YouTube. So talk to me a little bit about your interface then between your blog and YouTube. Like
mhm.
how do you use each vehicle to cross promote and to bolster the other?
Hmm. So, like when I started my YouTube channel, I didn't know anything about blogging. It was actually I stumbled across another blogger. She was an interior design blogger, and she was the first one I heard talking about how her blog was making her money and that YouTube was just a little branch of it. So that's when I started to like figure out this whole avenue of blogging. But how I make it work is with YouTube first. So when I'm making a video, I will cross-reference things in my blog. So, for example, a recent video I did about 6 foods to be eating more of in 2026. And one of them was kefir. And then I'll say I have this recipe with kefir on my blog. And then I might link those recipes down below. So people will find me on YouTube whilst they're watching the video, they'll hear about these recipes or these other things, and then they can go to the blog based on that.
Hmm.
Then within the blog posts, I will, if a blog post has a corresponding YouTube video, I'll have that linked in there as well. Um, but I almost find it's easier to get YouTube traffic to the blog than it is to get blog traffic to YouTube, if that
Interesting.
makes
Hmm.
sense.
And then in your newsletter, since you've built up a large list from YouTube, do
Mhm.
you send, I assume it's both, but like what's your percentage of what you send to your blog post and what you send to YouTube from your email?
So I send, um, let me, so when I send my emails, I send them just to my full audience. And I will usually send, so if I post a video on a Sunday, which is what I usually do, I'll send an email on the Monday letting people know that this video is out there. But then I send about 3 emails a week on a good week. And the other emails might be a recent blog post, like a recent recipe or a recent article, or it could just be tips. And I will interlink old might be related to that topic or other recipes that might be related to that topic.
Hmm.
Okay.
So I kind of with the email, I merge everything in together.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I send out multiple emails. Like I'll send out blog specific ones and then I send
Hmm.
out ones to a distinct list that I've segmented of people that want the YouTube videos. But every once in a while, I'll pepper both of them with content from the other one just to kind of remind them that I'm still on these other platforms.
Yeah, I've toyed, I might do that in the future if I niche
Mhm.
down because I do a lot of fertility work as well. So I'm thinking about doing a fertility series on YouTube. But a lot of my content is still quite general healthy eating. So I find that my audience doesn't mind getting the YouTube videos or the recipes. They enjoy both.
That makes sense.
Right. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Okay, so talk to me about like let's say we someone has a YouTube channel already, but they just haven't seen great success with it, or they're like me and they're like, okay, I'm going to make this part of my 2026 strategy. I think I
Hmm.
need to be there. What are like, you don't have to share all your secrets, but like the ones you're willing to share, like what are in your mind, like the must do's? Like these are the strategies that you really have to implement. These are the best practices you need to use in order to be seen.
Hmm. So I usually, like my journey, I almost have it divided into phases. The first phase is when you're just getting started, and I think you should just be posting one long form video a week and just getting better and not I wouldn't say not thinking about it, but don't be too concerned about not getting too many views
Hmm.
and not seeing huge success because I didn't. Nobody really does at the start, and you just need to keep practicing and start getting better and getting faster and making a system. And once you've done that for a while, then I would go into the next stage, which is where you're starting to be a little bit more strategic about it. So now when I'm posting a video or planning on posting a video, I might have like 5 or 6 video ideas, and you have to really prioritize the video that you think is going to perform well. You don't just make the video that you want to make, a little bit of that, but you have to prioritize what you think is going to do well on the platform. And that comes from studying YouTube and spending time on YouTube.
Hmm.
So I will often just go onto my homepage, scroll up and down, and look for videos that are outperforming the subscriber count of that channel. So basically we call that like an outlier or a 1 of 10. So if you see there's a channel that only has 1,000 subscribers, but they posted a video last week that got 100,000 views. They've obviously done something really, really well. So
Yeah.
you want to, and they don't have to be within the same niche. It can be a completely different niche, but you need to study that title. What was in that title that drove those clicks, or what was in that thumbnail? And you can start like screenshotting these and saving these and creating a bank. So this stage of YouTube is really about getting strategic and really thinking about like titles, thumbnails, frameworks, because you need to remember that the platform of YouTube is very, very different to Instagram or TikTok. Because when you go onto Instagram or TikTok, you're served up a feed. So those videos, you just scroll past this feed. Whereas on YouTube, there's a number of thumbnails on the screen, but you as the viewer need to decide which one you're going to click on and watch. So you're not just being served up these videos. You have to look at all these thumbnails and be like, okay, that looks interesting. I'll click on that.
Hmm.
You need to think about what people are going to click on because you could have the best video in the world. But if your thumbnail and your title aren't encouraging people to click, nobody is ever going to watch that video. So you need to spend a lot of time thinking about your title and your thumbnail.
So I was at a conference. I just got back yesterday from this conference. And during that, it was one of the presenters said, your thumbnail and your title should never be the same. It's like wasted real estate if you make the two
Mhm.
of them the exact same thing.
Yeah. I see it all the time, people doing like chocolate chip cookie in the title and in the thumbnail. And that's just, it's just, you don't need that. You want them you want your thumbnail to almost generate curiosity. So somebody doesn't know and they need to figure it out. So they need to like, what is that secret ingredient or what is happening in that video? It needs to generate curiosity.
Right? Like stop the scroll. Like as you're
Yeah.
scrolling through those thumbnails, what is making them stop? Whether it's the text or the color or the layout or
Yeah.
all of those
I
things.
Yeah, and I also find a lot of people put too much in their thumbnail. Like they will
Mm,
have a picture of them, a picture of food. They'll have like a full sentence. Whereas I try to keep all of my thumbnails to like 3 words, maybe 4 words
mhm.
if I can. And you want, again, you don't have the same words as the thumbnail. You don't want an overly cluttered thumbnail because you have to think they're quite small. Like you might be designing it on Photoshop or on Canva or something, and when you're looking at it, you're seeing it as a big thumbnail, but you need to zoom out and think that that's going to be quite small on somebody's phone or on
Mhm.
their computer screen. So it needs to be like it needs to be really, really captivating from a small stance.
Right, right. That makes sense.
Do you use a tool for keyword research for YouTube? I assume it's like a whole different thing than like blog? I assume I don't, I literally know
Yeah.
nothing about YouTube. Like I assume it's different than the like blog keyword research.
hmm I don't like I do keyword research for my blog, but I don't really do keyword research like that for YouTube. What
Okay.
I do use is there's two plugins, vidIQ and TubeBuddy. They just help once you are uploading your video to help optimize it a little bit in terms
Mhm.
of adding a good description, making sure you have tags. But that said, I don't think SEO is as relevant initially for a YouTube video. So I might, what I might do is if I do have a concept, I will go into like an incognito browser, open YouTube and search it and see what comes up and just look at the most recent videos. Look if that concept has done well in the past. If it hasn't, it might not do well again. Um, but after that, then when I am uploading a video, the first month that you put a video on YouTube, I think you're really going after trying to grab people's attention straight away on the platform. And you do that by having like a very viral or trendy kind of a title. After about a month, you could go back in and change things to be more keyword orientated if you wanted.
Mm,
But initially you're trying to like jump on the YouTube train and see if it'll like
yeah.
take off kind of. And
Huh.
usually with that, you don't want to keyword stuff your titles.
I like
Okay.
that concept. I never thought of going back after a month or so and updating it. To answer
hmm
your question though, Corinne, Key Search does have a YouTube function. I've
Oh,
used it. I don't know how valuable it is. Like, I don't know if that's what drives traffic, because I think I've had some videos do well that I haven't used that tool for, and then vice versa. I've had ones that look like they can rank really well that just don't. So I'm not sure how effective it is, but it's a jumping off point if you need some inspiration.
so
Yeah, I
another question related to that, because I don't, again, I don't understand anything, is hashtags. Does YouTube use hashtags? And if so, how do you go about finding those hashtags, or is it using those two extensions?
I would use those two extensions.
Hmm.
You can put
Okay.
hashtags in your description. I do normally put two to three of the most relevant topic. But again, I don't think like you can have videos that have nothing in the description and they do really, really well.
Okay.
But
Interesting.
I think there's no harm in doing it. But I think as YouTube is getting smarter and everything now, it can read through your whole transcript of what you're saying in the video. So you don't necessarily need to write everything in your description box and
Hmm.
try to keyword stuff in that way either.
Okay, so talk to me. So you said you were like, if you're just starting out, try to do one long form every week. What is right now like the ideal length in order to be considered I mean, I suppose it's going to vary by niche, but if you've got a general guideline, like you got to make it to at least 8 minutes or no more than 30, or are there guidelines like that?
I think it depends on the niche. I wouldn't be making a video any longer than it needs to be because people are then going to click off or you're going to lose their attention because you
Hmm.
want to try to get a good retention curve. You want people staying on the video for as long as possible. Normally, I would try to get my videos over 8 minutes, because that way you can have mid-roll ads. So that will help with your ad revenue instead of just having ads at the start and the end of the video. And most of my videos will be over 8 minutes anyway. I did read recently that so sometimes you will hear that longer videos perform well and that YouTube is favoring them. But I do think that it at the end of the day it comes down to your channel. There's no point in having a really long video if there's no need for it.
So,
So,
question, if you're like just starting out, because I assume that the algorithm rewards the more people complete the video, is
Mhm.
it since early on you're not paying attention, like you're not being super strategic yet, right? Like you're just trying to get the content made. Is there a merit then to making shorter long form videos so you have a higher chance of getting someone to watch to the end, or am I overthinking things?
You're probably
Yeah.
overthinking things, but I do think it probably makes sense. Like I would advise starting out to start with simpler videos, not to be overcomplicating it. You just want to start building that muscle of making YouTube videos.
Hmm.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and
And if
I think it really comes down to your audience, right? The user
mm,
experience and finding what that sweet spot is that whether it's long or short. You could have
yeah.
a short video that gets great retention, and that's
hmm
great.
And with YouTube, don't ever expect to be getting retention of like 80 to 90%. A good YouTube retention is normally over 33%.
Hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
That's good to know.
I've seen a lot of people, a lot of chatter in different groups about people doing these mega videos where basically it's like a 3 hour video where they just take a lot of their shorter ones and put them back to back to back and just play like almost like a playlist, but it's
hmm
not a playlist. It's just one long video. And I'm thinking that that applies or that appeals to people like my husband who will just turn on a video and just let it go while he's working. Have you heard
I think
anything
that
about that?
can, yeah, I think that can work really well. But again, it's niche specific for
Yeah.
you. But you do want to always be trying to create like content that is binge worthy. So if
Hmm.
somebody watches one of your videos, that they will also love to watch all of your other videos. So I notice when I have one recent video that will do well, a lot of my older videos will then start to pop off again because they're attracting the same audience. So you want to
Hmm.
have that binge-worthy content that you could then maybe stitch together into a 3 hour long video if you wanted. But you want content that when the right person comes, they stick around and they watch
Yeah.
more and more of your stuff.
Yeah, it's almost like giving them the related, but not making them have to click to the next video. They can just stay there and it'll just
Yeah.
keep serving up the next related video. Yeah, so that's
hmm
something I want to dabble in.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
Yeah. So what would you say is like if somebody's looking to just getting started, like this is their new goal for 2026. I'm looking at you, Corinne.
I can feel it.
If this is your goal for 2026, what is like the basic equipment that you would need to get started without overcomplicating it?
Yeah. You definitely don't need to overcomplicate it. I think you need very good audio. I
Hmm.
think that's the most important thing, even though it's a video platform. Nobody will sit down and watch through bad audio.
Hmm.
Um, and then after that, good lighting. But you like this could all be done on your iPhone if you needed it to be done.
Hmm.
Like some of the newest iPhone is excellent. But I don't think you need all of the best equipment in the world because then you're not going to know how to use it properly. And then I think that was a mistake I made actually. I bought a new camera. I'd never used a camera before. I filmed 3 videos and had to delete them all because I had bought a microphone, but the microphone wasn't properly plugged into my camera because I didn't know how to use it. So I think starting simply
Hmm.
with good audio and a camera, if you have better equipment, it does help. And I do think as a new YouTuber, it may even help a little bit more because once you're a big YouTuber and you've built an audience, your audience is going to be a little bit more forgiving. But when you're trying to grow and people stumble across you for the first time, it will help if you do come across more professional, I think. It'll help people take you that little bit more seriously. So
Hmm.
it is something to try and do if you can. My approach, and this is probably not something I would advise, but I spent 4 months before I posted my first video practicing making videos. I really was strategic. I literally, because I'd never done any photography or videography or anything like that. So I spent like the first month just YouTube or looking up YouTube and figuring out the kind of positioning that I wanted to do, the kind of videos I wanted to make. And then I started like practicing scripts. I started practicing filming. I started practicing editing. So then when I did finally post my first video, I had 4 more videos in the backlog ready to go. So
Mm.
that helped me because I really wanted to keep up with posting every week. And I knew if I was trying to do it like from week to week, I'd feel this huge amount of pressure and then I would end up quitting. So I gave myself that bit of time to prepare. Now, I don't know what I really recommend that to everyone because some people will spend all the time preparing and never actually start. So there is a point where you just have to start. But I think I really wanted to come across quite professional. So I wanted to start well. That said, if you go back, I have never deleted any of my videos. If you go back and watch the first one, it is terrible. Like it is terrible, but you just have to get better at each one. So,
Yeah.
I feel like people understand that though when they see like our old blog posts, right? Like I think the first per thing someone does if they land, I hope when they land is they check out the date it was published and be like, oh yeah, this is like I don't think people mind that so much. And I understand why for your channel it maybe was more important because you've got a professional title, right? Like you're a licensed dietitian, so you don't want it to look slapshod. Whereas me, I am a hot mess express, right? And that's the mom I try to help. So I feel I'm just going to try and talk myself into this. I feel like I'm allowed to make mistakes if I do this. They're going to
mhm.
expect it from me because I'm not trying to be a
And
professional
that's
parenting expert, right? Like
mm.
I'm
That
just
can
another.
work to your advantage too. There's
Yeah.
been a big trend on YouTube where like people actually do really value that because there is so much professionally produced stuff, and there's only going to become more professionally produced stuff that people value that raw insight that little bit more. So that can be your unique angle, and you can use that to your advantage.
And even AI generated videos, right? Like we're starting to see that. And I think that the mistakes and the realness coming out kind of helps
Yeah.
people see that you are a genuine human being and you make mistakes. Like I used to edit every little blip, every little issue out, but anymore, I let it go. I always use the wrong size bowl. Always. Every single time I make something, my bowl is too small. And I just call it out now. And I'm like, yeah, don't make a mess like me. Like I
Yeah.
make a mess everywhere I go because I'm using the wrong size, and people come to expect that. And I think they give you a little bit of forgiveness.
Yeah, I think so. I think people crave that now.
Yeah.
So speaking of forgiveness, my other big hurdle with doing video anywhere is on my best day, I'm really great at keeping a good mindset about about trolls, right? Like I feel bad for them. I'm sorry your life's so miserable that this is where you've got to come vent. Um, but I only have a few of my very best days. Like I have a lot of days where there's a lot of self-talk that has to occur to get me to just go check email. So like tell me how important, like one, what to expect in the comments of YouTube videos, and two, like how important is interacting with the comments there? Like, do you need to do that in order to make sure that your channel's like health is okay?
I like to try to interact with all my comments. I'm at a point where I can't keep up with it now, but whenever I post a video, I'll keep up with them for the first 24 to 48 hours. Um, what I will say about YouTube is you can get weird comments on YouTube, but I haven't found it that bad because usually people are choosing to watch your video. Like if they're not interested in your topic, they're not watching your video. So usually they're interested in the topic.
Hmm.
And what I have found is if you do get a negative comment, other people will nearly come back and say, like, why are you saying that? And then you can just leave them chit chatter amongst, amongst each
And it's
other.
all engagement.
Yeah.
Exactly. It is all engagement. So sometimes that actually helps. I had a video about the carnivore diet and it got a lot of, I wouldn't say like they were not, I don't mind those comments because they're not being personally attacking me. They're just saying they don't agree with the science, which is fine. But
Right.
that video did well then because of all of
Hmm.
the interaction in the comments. So
I will say though, I think YouTube trolls are very different than email trolls or blog
mm,
trolls. They're meaner.
yeah.
And I've had to learn to have a thick skin, but and I have a VA that goes through them. Like she will go through the comments and then let me know if there's something I need to hop in on. But we have a rule that if it doesn't add value to the comment section, if it's just nastiness or if there's foul language or anything like that, delete, 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 because I moderate everything.
Hmm. I haven't found it to be that bad. I don't know. Am I just fortunate so far? Like, and whenever I do get anything, it's more disagreeing with my point of view, which I'm
Hmm.
ease better able to shrug off, I suppose.
Yeah. I had one about cleaning a grill, and you should see the men that comment on that, how a woman
Um,
basically has no business cooking on a grill. And
oh
there was a
gosh.
lot of that out there. So and that was like one of my very, very first videos. So I had to really develop a thick skin early on, but
Yeah.
um, it is what it is, you know? Like I
Hmm.
just
Yeah, I
kind of
think
laugh
this
at
just
it
might
now.
be a VA task for me.
Yeah, you can
You
easily
can
do
turn
that.
off comments too. You can turn off comments as well. So
Yeah.
I don't think I'd go that far. It's good to know, but I don't think I'd
yeah.
go that far because I'd want the engagement. I just
Hmm.
think for my own mental health, that would probably be I've
Yeah.
got an assistant that can do it.
Yeah.
Um,
I
okay,
do
Give you a
so
report of things that you have to follow up on.
there you go.
I will say, like, in that 4 month period where I was preparing to start, I did a lot of like mental work as well. I was preparing for literally my videos flopping for months and like just telling myself that that's going to be okay. You can't expect it to grow overnight and like preparing myself for the long game. And that really, really helped. I was listening to like podcasts from some of the big YouTubers talking about their early days and their early experiences. So I nearly prepped my mindset to be ready for because some videos aren't going to do well and you just have to stay the long haul and then the rewards will be worth it in the end.
That's a good tip.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
that's
it's like our blogs or like any platform really.
Yeah.
Consistency is key, and the platform always rewards consistency as long as you stick with it and it sees that you're serious about, being present on the channel.
Hmm.
right.
I think that is one of the keys.
Well, and I think the other key is what you said, Maria. Like after you get past that, like do the consistency, like figure out what you need to do to that. But it's that strategic piece, and
Mhm.
it holds true for every person we've ever had on this that masters a platform. So, like our Pinterest producers are the same thing, right? Like study what stops the scroll on Facebook. Like the people that do really well on Facebook spend a lot of time on Facebook figuring out what their audience is engaging with, what like image style stops it, what titles do it. Like I think I tend to like to have a set and forget system. And I think if you're really going to excel on any platform, and it sounds like it on YouTube, you've got to pay attention. Like you've got to stay current and pay attention to what's happening there.
Mhm.
So
Hmm.
yeah, that I I heard something, and I think we brought this up on the podcast a little while ago, Christina. It was not my idea. I heard it, and I wish I could remember who said it so I could credit them. But they had talked about creating an account on whatever platform it is. So in this case, YouTube, like setting up an account under a different email address and only engaging as your ideal avatar
Ooh.
so
Hmm.
that you can
Yeah.
see what it serves up to your ideal audience member so that to your point of doing the research. I think I see the value in doing both, right? Like being on as me so you can see things from other categories, other niches that aren't related to it so you can bring some of that wisdom. But I do think there's a lot to be gained too
Mhm.
from knowing exactly what your audience members are seeing, like who's showing up, what types of
Mhm.
videos does YouTube think they want to see.
Mhm.
So in YouTube analytics now, they do have a very good section where you can see what your subscribers also watch and who they
Ooh,
also watch. So you can see what channels are appealing to them. So that's the
that
YouTube analytics are very good. So it is
Yeah.
worth diving deep into them.
that's
And I
good to
like too about the engagement rate. Like it shows you your videos, like when they actually drop off watching. So you can
Hmm.
see like, oh, okay, it seems like everybody's dropping off after 3 minutes. Well, what happens at that 3 minute mark that's causing
Yeah,
them to drop off? Is that when you go into a spiel about something that they don't
mad.
need to know?
Yeah.
Or you can really like you can dig in and it's a great tool there.
That
Hmm.
is
Yeah.
helpful to know.
But Corinne, I think too, in a previous podcast episode, we were talking with Sam Milner, and you mentioned doing a practice, like hopping on
Oh
a
yeah,
call and doing a practice. I think that would be good for video too. Like if you're going to be, talking to the camera or whatever, just hop on a Zoom with somebody and like kind of practice it,
yeah,
Hmm.
and see if there's something that they would, could help you tweak or make better. I mean, that's a good way of kind of getting some audience feedback as you're doing it.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. And with that, like at the start, I read all the comments and I still try to read them all. And like I got feedback. There was
Mhm.
people telling me the background music is a bit too long, or you say this word wrong with my Irish accent, or like there were some things that I didn't really want to hear, but I actually replied to everyone saying thank you very much, and I'll try to
Mhm.
fix it in the next video. And I just took it as constructive criticism.
Yeah.
And
Some of
That's
my
helpful.
older ones, I get a lot of feedback about the background music being too loud.
yeah.
And It's just one of those things. And the unfortunate thing is, once you publish a video, you can't
Hmm.
edit it again.
Right.
Yeah.
So I couldn't go in and fix that music. So some of them I've actually just redone and then I redirect the old one to the new one. I'm like, if you don't like the
Yeah.
music, go over this. I redid it over here. But,
I'm
you know,
tempted to say this is a 2026 thing for me.
you need to do it.
Yeah, you
Yeah, I
should.
am really tempted
So
just because
everybody blast Corinne with messages and emails and DMs and make her
yeah.
do video for 2026.
Yeah, it will pay off.
So, yeah, because we fine-tuned the rest of the business to make it really easy to run now. So I feel like I've got some bandwidth.
You've got plenty of time now.
Yeah. Okay, so Maria, I'm gonna like if I'm gonna do it. Actually, I'm gonna do it. So if I'm
No
I
if.
really want to throw if in because I really
Stop the
don't want to
if.
confuse
You
people.
are.
Okay, so what do I need to know? Like, what mistakes am I likely to make that you can tell me not to make? Like, what are the things I need to know? So I've got the things I need to do, like the different phases. What most likely will I do wrong that you can tell me so that I don't do it?
So when you're filming your video or scripting your video, um, really concentrate on getting to the point in the first 30 seconds. You want to have a strong hook. You don't want to give away all of your secrets, but you want to try to optimize for retention. So something I do, for example, is if I have 8 points, so I'm telling you about the 8 secrets to longevity. In that intro, I might say, but number 6 is going to really like surprise you. And then everyone is going to like be like, oh, what's number 6? And stay till the end. So you really want to, like, if you're going to think about your video, you want to put a lot of effort into the first 30 seconds to make sure you have that really, really strong hook.
Well,
Yeah. I've often heard, or not often, someone once mentioned to me about when you're thinking about laying out your video, think about how they do like a sitcom, right? From segment to segment to segment. So you'll watch one segment, they kind of set you up so that you come back after the commercial break to watch the next segment. And then you watch
Hmm.
that, and then towards the end of that, there's usually some kind of hook there to kind of keep you so you come back after the next commercial break. And it's always teasing you from segment to segment. It's like figuring out what
Yeah.
that tease is every time.
I need to
Hmm.
go do some research. I need to go watch some YouTube videos. I'm
Watching
not
is
a
a good
video
way.
person. Like, this is why I have no idea about YouTube because it is like the last place I go look for information. I like to read.
Okay. Well, spending time on the platform is one of the best ways to learn.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then don't overcomplicate it. You don't need fancy editing. Those days are kind of gone now. Before it used to be like you have to have different things coming on the screen all the time. You don't need that. You just don't want to have, you don't want to be rambling on too much. It's nice to have personal stories, and I think people like that and they relate to that, but you just don't want to be taking it too extreme either.
What do
Yeah.
you use for your video editing?
So I use Final Cut Pro.
Okay.
But there is a good tool that I sometimes use. So I work with a video editor now, but I did edit them all myself at the start. There's a good tool called Gling.ai.
Hmm.
And what I used to do is I used to upload my first raw footage cut to that, and it would automatically get rid of all the pauses for you. So that saved a lot of time when I was
Ooh,
editing.
I
And
like that.
it would also like go through your rambles and like cut out the first ramble and leave the second one. So
Hmm.
yeah, that
No,
saved me
I
a lot
like
of time.
that. I will add it to the, I'm adding it to the list, Christina,
Oh,
the
okay.
show notes links list.
I just use iMovie when I have to edit
Yeah,
them, and
yeah.
it's easy. It came on my computer. It's
Hmm.
free. It's simple to use, and I think that there's like some tools built in there. So taking like a minute, I think, to learn the
Yeah.
editing tool a little bit is a big help too, because that's where I got frustrated was when I
Hmm.
couldn't do that effectively. But once I learned like the tricks and the keyboard shortcuts, and I can usually go in pretty quickly now and chop things up.
Yeah. I'd probably do the iMovie. If that's definitely a lot easier than the Final Cut Pro or any of the other
Yeah.
ones.
Or an Adobe product, which usually
Yeah,
takes like a college degree to figure out those
yeah.
all the trick tips and tricks there. But
Yeah.
Yeah, they can be very intimidating. So I would start with something very simple because all you really need to do is be like cutting out your pauses, maybe add in text if needed in places. I wouldn't even really worry about background music because it's hard
yeah.
to get right, and I think it just distracts people.
Hmm. And fancy transitions. I notice like when I see a lot of distracting transitions
Mm,
from shot to shot. It annoys me more than anything.
yeah.
Like I'd rather just have a
I
straight cut.
think, yeah, I think those days are gone.
Yeah. Thank heavens.
Yes.
But again,
Yay.
just practicing that kind of stuff too, like
Yeah. Yeah.
that would definitely help. So any final tips that you want to share with us before Corinne creates her first video and uploads it to YouTube so we can all watch it?
I think just really you do have to focus you have to have a long-term mindset for it and work on that mindset. I think you have to really commit, know what you want to talk about, try to niche into that, like
Hmm.
know your avatar, make videos for them, um, and stick with it and enjoy it because if you don't enjoy it, you're not going to stick it out.
Yeah.
But it can be fun. I really enjoy making YouTube videos now and people like there can be trolls, but there's also really a really nice community on YouTube that really
Yeah.
value the time and effort because people know it takes a lot of time and effort to make YouTube videos
Yeah.
and they appreciate that. So yeah, you build a really nice community.
Yeah, I took a hiatus on my channel for a while. It just life got in the way. And when I came back and started uploading again regularly, like a whole bunch of my viewers came back like, "Oh, we're so glad you're back." I'm like, "Oh, people knew I wasn't
That's
there."
awesome.
Like I felt good
Yeah.
about that because I didn't real you don't realize that there are people that subscribe to you and are waiting for your video to drop every week or, you know.
Hmm.
So that's kind of a
Yeah.
nice feeling too.
Yeah, it really, really is. Yeah.
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 Well, this has been so I learned a lot and I've been doing YouTube. So I've learned some great tips that I'm definitely going to.
I know I took a lot of notes. I also grabbed a lot of links for things that you were mentioning, Maria. So we will put all of those in the show notes, including you have a blog post with all of your YouTube equipment. So that link will be in the show notes as well. So people, they want to try and get similar results, can make sure they get the same equipment and hopefully get the same video quality and sound quality you've got. I've also linked to your YouTube channel in the show notes. So if people want to check
Yeah,
out what you're doing, they can find you there.
Yeah. Okay.
excellent. So what is the best way for our listeners to find you, Maria?
So you can visit my YouTube channel, Maria Lucy Dietitian, or you can visit the blog, marialucydietitian.com.
Perfect.
So
Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Maria. And if you want to take action on what we talked about, make sure you go check out the Maria's blog post that we linked in the show notes to see all of her equipment and tools that she used because it's packed with information to help you get started on your YouTube journey, just like Corinne is going to do.
I love how many times you've said that. Also, listeners, unless you're going to nag me about YouTube, we would love to hear from you. So tag us on Instagram at the Smart Influencer with your biggest takeaway from today, or drop us a DM and let us know how you're applying what you've learned. If you are going to start your YouTube channel or apply some of what you learned, do tag me. I was just kidding because I think I am tackling this in 2026, and I'd love to connect with anybody else that's going along for the ride.
Ooh, let's find her an accountability partner. Do you see how I'm manifesting this for
Ooh,
you?
I do. I love that. I'm here for it. I like it.
Corinne needs an accountability partner for YouTube. So reach
I
out to
do.
her with that.
Maybe an accountability team. I'll need a lot of peer pressure.
I have just totally thrown you under the bus today in all the directions. Thank you so much for spending time with us today. We will be back next week with another episode to help you grow smarter, work less, and of course, earn more. We'll see you then.